All right, welcome to the book club. For this week, I chose Sell or Be Sold, written by Grant Cardone, How to Get Your Way in Business and in Life. I recently came across Grant Cardone on social media. He's quite the business tycoon. He's definitely self-made. He's made his name through real estate investment, I'm sure commercial and residential, maybe even industrial. He's got a very popular 10X seminar he hosts. Actually, one of my favorite authors, Tim Grover, who wrote Relentless, he's going to be speaking at his upcoming 10X seminar. He travels around the world consulting with multiple businesses, and he helps people make sales and improve their business. So I will start. Sell or Be Sold is a true declaration of Cardone's methods and teachings that anyone can use to improve their rate of successful selling. The author emphasizes that everyone is in fact a salesperson, whether they know it or not. Just because you may not make a commission check after selling a product doesn't mean that you're not in sales. A teacher sells the idea of knowledge to their students. A parent is selling his or her child to the chore of brushing their teeth before they go to bed. And a love-struck boy is selling the idea he is a great catch to his crush. Everyone is always selling something. One of the first statements made early on the book is the premise that businesses who fail earlier on in their startup phase are often undercapitalized. This is not true. The problem isn't being undercapitalized. It's because their services or products weren't sold fast enough and not often enough, therefore their funds ran dry. A lot of people have preconceived notion that salespeople will rip you off, they'll lie, and they'll do anything for a sale. A salesperson isn't a secure job. Working for commission is too challenging and too risky. What people don't realize is that a lot of those false presumptions are based on hearsay and others' opinions, not from direct experience. Commissions are a direct reflection of a person's ability to close the deal. It's said that everyone makes commissions, even if it's not in monetary value. Beautiful homes, a loving spouse, polite and respectful children, a muscular fit beach body are all commissions of someone's hard work. A powerful line that Cardone writes, health is not guaranteed in life. Health is a commission for taking care of yourself and your mind. Cardone discusses why commitment is so important for sales and in life. He writes, to commit is to devote oneself completely to something. To be truly great at anything, one must truly commit and devote themselves to their decision. One of the most powerful teachings that I took from Sell or Be Sold is having the ability to predict the outcome before it happens. When it comes to sales, it's quite simple. There's a prospect, a salesperson, a product, or service. And it's up to the salesperson to validate the prospect's problems and solve them with the product of the service that he or she is trying to sell. What's so powerful and effective is the ability to forecast all of the potential problems, criteria, objections that the prospect may present to the salesperson before they are actually verbalized. By knowing all the possible scenarios, the salesperson can resolve all the potential negative feedback before they even happen, ultimately leading to the sale and a very happy customer. How can the salesperson be that prepared? Conviction, Cardone writes. The ability to be so firmly sold on your belief that to demonstrate to your buyer with such complete and utter certainty that no other choices appear to be available. What Cardone means is that the seller needs to be in love with the product or the service. They must use it themselves. The believing in what you are selling makes the sale process much easier and much likelier for a successful transaction. Many times, the prospect will say to the salesperson, the price is too high, or what will others think of me if they know how much I spent on this? Will another product come out better next month? Should I join? What will my wife say? These are all common phrases that almost all buyers say at some point or another. It's up to the salesperson to solve the problems of the consumer with the product, and if all the problems are solved, then the price shouldn't be an issue, especially if the solution can make them more money than the initial investment. Another fantastic lesson that Cardone writes about is the upsell even before the initial sale is made. Move up, don't move down, Cardone writes. If you are presented with a buyer who says the price is too high, Grant, in his practices, immediately move up to a more expensive product. The consumer isn't necessarily saying the price is too high. What they really mean is that they're not sure that it will completely resolve their problems, and so the buyer would rather pay more, making the right decision, rather than paying less and make a possible mistake. Oftentimes, a salesperson will get all caught up in the statistics and the qualities of the product that they're selling. Too often, the salesperson gets ramped up on their product knowledge and forget to make an understanding of the customer and find out what their needs are. This is emphasized by Cardone as he states, people are senior to products, which means you are in the people business first and foremost, then comes the product. Another useful sales technique is agreeing with a customer. Although at times it may be difficult, Cardone emphasizes that agreeing is the road to more sales. People often inclined to disagree in order to please their own egotistical cravings to be right. If the customer feels like there's an argument between opinions, they are less likely to make a purchase because there is an emphasis on the initial disagreement. This leads to trust. Sometimes a salesperson can tell the truth until they go blue in the face, but the customer won't believe them. A tool that the salesperson should be equipped with is data, previous customers' reviews, competitor information, internet accessibility so they can look up other information about the product. The more data, truth, that the seller can present to the buyer, the less likely the buyer will be interested in shopping around, Cardone says. Or pretend the buyer doesn't believe a single word you're saying, Cardone says. So show them what you're saying in addition to saying it. A valuable lesson midway through the Sell or Be Sold title is love the one you're with. Cardone emphasizes pay attention to your customer and stay with them from cradle to grave. Don't get distracted by phone calls or emails. Show the customer that they are important. In a very competitive and cutthroat society, it's easy to walk away from a product or service and go to the next person offering the same thing. But it's very difficult to walk away from a positive experience and relationship. That's why catering to your customer is so important. Make each and every experience a joyful and pleasant experience. By doing so, if a competitor comes along with a possibly cheaper product, your service and relationship will carry weight. The later chapters discuss them selling self-reflection, and assessment, social media strategies, the 10 commandments of sales. I'll name off a couple. 1, be proud and be positive. Dress like you are proud. Act like you are proud and be the most positive person your customer will be around. Number 2, dress for sales success. Number 3, see the sale, and so on. Cardone discusses briefly negative surroundings, self-discipline, the economy, and the abundance of money that's really out there, not despite what we are told from the media, competition, product knowledge, follow-up techniques, the importance of being organized, phone call protocols. One example he emphasizes that no matter how many times you call a customer or a prospect, never remind them that they never called you back, or never remind them or ask them why they didn't reply. It's not their job to call you, it's your job to call them. The last pages really hit home for me in terms of my own deficiencies. So many practical habits that I do or don't do enough are all discussed in this book. Grant Cardone is truly a successful man. His daily habits for years and years that most people choose not to do because they are hard have led him to be the successful business tycoon that he is today. One of the really enjoyable things that I liked about this book is that he speaks the same way that he speaks in his videos and on social media. It's actually quite enjoyable to read because as the reader, you can connect immediately and get immersed with what he's saying because you know it's the truth and because he's so passionate about his lessons. For anyone who's in sales, I really recommend this book. Also for anyone who's in business or as an entrepreneur, it's an impactful read, and it's also quite humbling because although you may think you're a rock star in sales, there's always more ways to improve, and which will ultimately lead you to being the seller or being sold. Yeah, like I said, it really struck home the last few chapters just because it almost reminds me of my inadequacies because there's always room to improve. There's always things to do to get better, and Grant clearly demonstrates and exercises all of his teachings because look at him and his team and his wife. Everyone's a go-getter, and they're really, really positive, and they're doing a good job. So Sell or Be Sold, it's a good book. If you want to eat some humble pie, read it, because I'm telling you, the last few chapters will really put you back down to earth and make you realize that there's so much more to do and improve upon on yourself as a person and in business. So it's a good book. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad that I was able to share it with everyone. And if you guys are interested, buy the book. He's got lots of other books online and Amazon and all that stuff. So yeah, in good faith, in good health. I always forget my tagline. In good health and good spirit. See you later.